Now I'm being joined by Maxime Vachier-Lagrave from the OSG Baden-Baden, the best French chess player. Congratulations for your nice win in the Najdorf Sicilian defense. Can you tell us something about your game?
Yeah, thank you. I was a bit surprised by what Alexey played in the opening. I didn't necessarily like how I reacted, but I didn't remember the lines. And I thought I was slightly worse, but he played, I think, the wrong rook on c1, and then he realized his mistake. He went back to a1, but by doing so with his plan, he blundered something, after which it was suddenly over.
Very smooth victory. What I've seen is after bishop c4, you went into a deep dive and analyzed a lot. What was the difficulty in this stage of the game?
Yeah, I mean, it was based on a miscalculation, because when I went for b4 knight c6, I had different e5 and knight c6. I mean, I had different options, and I thought this was very normal. I didn't see. I thought a5 wouldn't be dangerous for me, as well as c3. And after bishop c4, I first intended bishop e6, and if he takes take, I mean, I'm not really worse. But then I noticed that he had bishop d5, after which I'm losing a pawn, and it might not be the end of the world, but it's still slightly worse at the very least. So I thought I will play like in the game, but it's a bit shaky, and positionally I can just be doomed positionally if he manages to consolidate, get a grip on d5. And it seems by one tempo I managed to avoid that, but I still thought I was slightly worse.
Najdorf Sicilian is very sharp, and every tempo, every detail is important. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely, and also remembering your preparation is very important. But I didn't expect to play Alex. I actually didn't even know he was part of the team, so I realized he was my opponent when parents came out a bit less than 2 hours before the game. So I had a little time to review some Najdorf lines, and of course I did, but this one escaped my radar. It's a bit it's not supposed to be the main continuation, but of course in Najdorf many side continuations deserve thorough analysis that I couldn't remember.
Very important point on board 1 for the OSG Baden-Baden. You have a very good trend the last months, and you are heading to 2,800 Fide rating.
I've been playing in general better chess for like 6 months, but at the same time it's been a bit topsy-turvy. There's been tournaments where I didn't play that well because I played a lot, and at some point it was just too much. No, I've had the opportunity after the World Cup to have some rest, to play in Hamburg, and I lost in the semifinals after a very good prestation by Sasha Grishuk. So but of course this was my worst game there, so it was a bit of a heartbreak, but it was well deserved. And today I don't actually know if I played well, but at least all my moves were flowing naturally, even though I felt a bit tired before starting the game. It didn't show in the end.
A win is a win, and you have a good standing in the Fide Grand Prix series. Will you participate in Jerusalem?
Yes, I'm definitely playing in Jerusalem, so it's gonna be very tense. We are 3 players as favorites to get the second spot in the candidates, because Sasha is more or less qualified. But of course there are a few players who could by winning the tournament in Jerusalem leapfrog us, especially if I don't go far. So I mean, I think I'm a favorite to qualify, but I will need to be very focused and to win a couple matches at the very least, and then see where that gets me.
Nice. And you're not only in the top 5 in classical chess, you are currently the number 1 in blitz chess in terms of... you're the number 1 in rapid of the world. And in Moscow, there will be, in the end of this year, the FIDE Rapid and Blitz Championship. Will you play?
I mean, I will definitely play. It's just a question of getting the visa. I mean, I haven't seen any information about invitations published yet, and well, I mean, this was a bit regrettable that it was announced so late. But I think, at least for me, it will not make a difference. I mean, barring any visa problem, I will definitely be part of this competition. I mean, I always love to play in this World Blitz and Rapid Championship. The only reason I missed it last year is that I had other plans, and while it seemed that it was not going to happen.
We will look forward to watch your games from the 25th to the 30th of December in Moscow. So we got some fan questions from all around the world on YouTube, and the most liked question was, what is your training routine? How do you train chess?
Well, it depends, because this year I've been mostly playing, and of course, I mean, there's a lot of work behind that, but mostly by the seconds, because for me it's a matter of keeping as much energy as I can for the actual games. But otherwise, of course, there's sports routine. So generally, I like to go have a run. I mean, more or less every day. It was not possible, sadly, in the first half of the year, because I got sick, and then I got a bit of an injury on my lower back, but now that's all behind me. So of course I'm getting back this running routine, and well, as in terms of chess, of course, I'm very focused on doing well in the last FIDE Grand Prix in Jerusalem. So ever since Hamburg, I've been working on my openings to make them work even better.
Okay, and then there comes the next question, which is suitable now. Which role does Chess Engine play in the preparation of a professional chess player?
Well, it is essential nowadays, and we've had a bit of revolution in the past. So first, because the engines got stronger and stronger, and thus, not only the softwares like first Ripkas and Houdinis and Stockfish, and lately, of course, Lila, which is one of the main resources we have today. But of course, in terms of hardware, with the computers getting faster and faster.
Yeah, that's very important. And over 20 years ago, there was the first time that a chess engine has beaten a chess world champion. 1997, the IBM's Deep Blue defeated world champion Garry Kasparov. Did you follow the match, and how was your impression?
Well, there was barely any internet at the time, so Also, I was not yet 7 years old, so I think I was already playing chess. But I'm not sure I saw the news live. Maybe I saw this a year later, and I looked at the games. Of course, they were fun, but I was a kid. I was moving pieces, but I definitely didn't have the level to understand what had happened quite clearly. But yeah, it was a milestone in terms of computer chess, and also in terms of how we turned out to judge computers and their thought process. I mean, if we can call it like this, during a chess game.
Yeah, and 2 years ago we had another breakthrough in computer chess. AlphaZero has beaten the strongest conventional chess engine, Stockfish. Did you follow this match, and what is your opinion about this reinforcement learning approach?
Well, like I said, now I mean Lila is the main trend, is a new trend, and one of the main computer programs we use. I mean, elite players, but I think almost everyone is jumping on the bandwagon. There's also FatFritz coming soon, which is based on the same idea of reinforced learning. So yeah, definitely. I mean, this AlphaZero engine took us all by surprise, because the news were announced in London during the London Chess Classic, in which I was playing. So yeah, but it was exciting at the same time. There were a lot of interesting chess ideas, new chess approach that started to show in our games. I think starting from early this year with Magnus coming up with really quite a lot of strong ideas that were most likely coming from Lila or similar stuff.
So artificial intelligence inspired chess, very interesting. Another trend is chess as an esport. A lot of strong chess players, and you yourself are streaming on Twitch. Do you think that this could be a nice idea to reach a broader audience for chess and make it a bit more entertaining?
Yeah, this is the idea. Of course, I've been pulling back quite a bit with my schedule and, of course, my ambitions to qualify for the candidates. But yeah, whenever I have some real free time, of course, it's nice to, it helps, first of all, to connect with chess players. I mean, they do know us. They see us playing in tournaments and giving interviews and press conference. But this is a level of interaction that's unmatched. And also it helps to, the chess players to see us like as humans, not, playing against the elite, 25 moves in the Berlin, there's definitely more to an elite chess player than that. But what we do in those Grand Chess Tour events, for instance, is only the tip of the iceberg of our knowledge of chess. And so yeah, I think it's good to be able to connect with the chess community in this respect. But of course, also we aim to, to show even a broader audience what chess is about. Chess is a fun game. Chess is an instructive game, and where you can learn a lot of things. And I hope this kind of initiatives will help reach a global audience and, make chess one of the most popular games in the world. I mean, I know Fortnite is very, very popular right now. I mean, with good reasons, and lots of other video games. So, I think there's a place for every game, and chess definitely has a big role to play.
Chess is amazing, and I think this is a good idea. Thank you for this insights. We got a last question from a Danish chess fan. He's comparing chess with boxing and asks, what's the difference between chess and boxing?
Well, I do not follow boxing that much. I mean, this is one of the few sports that's not on my radar. But from the little I know about boxing, it's very like it's a real fight between two people, not only physical but also mental. And in this respect, it is very similar. I mean, the only thing is that in chess, the way we hit opponents is with good moves, but yeah, I mean, it's not also totally random that chess boxing got popular over the years, and there's been also in France a very good initiative with some chess boxing matches that I couldn't attend because I was in Hamburg, but next time there's one such event, and I'm in Paris. I mean, I will probably go to see what it's like. I mean, I've seen some reports. It was apparently a great success, and chess and boxing melted together. I mean, I'm not gonna take part in that, but yeah, I would love to watch this.
You will keep it there. Chess has one advantage. A chess player can play more chess games than a boxer can fight boxing matches. I think 50 boxing matches, but I think you play over 50 chess games a year.
Yeah, I mean, there was a number, counting classical, rapid, and blitz. I'm well over 200 games now, so yeah.
That's quite a huge number. You have prepared a quick analysis of your Najdorf game for us.
This is a Najdorf. If you don't know it, you should. It's the best opening. So, okay, first, Alexey played bishop e3. Just checked if I was going to play knight g4, probably. And then went for f3. So I played e6 like I played against Topalov in Riga Grand Prix. And here a4 took me by surprise because, like I said previously, I didn't remember the details of this move after before knight a2. I mean, there were three options in my mind. So the one I played, e5, knight b3, knight c6. There was also maybe bishop b7, but I didn't like it because of queen d2. I mean, if he takes on before d5, I thought this is probably playable, but after queen d2, I didn't find the move to protect this pawn. And then there's e5, knight b3, d5. But I assumed, of course, not only would he be prepared against this, but it seemed a bit shaky. I mean, probably it is the main line because it prevents bishop c4. That in the game I underestimated because after bishop e6 I missed that bishop d5 is so strong. I thought for a while, so like if I go queen c8, it takes on b4, and I think I'm just slightly worse. Queen b7, knight d3 back. If rook b8, knight a5. I didn't see equality for me here. And there was also one critical option, which is to take first on d5, play knight e7, knight takes b4, and then, well, something like a5, knight c6, because of course I cannot wait to play a5. If I go queen c7, for instance, he probably will go a5 or queen d3, and it's just not good. So a5, knight c6, I take, he takes queen c7. So I'm getting back this pawn on c6, but now the issue is I played a5, and it takes advantage of that with queen d3, queen takes c6, and queen b5. And the endgame is not great for me, so probably I should consider a move like queen d7, but it's very passive and probably just better for white. So yeah, this is why I took so much time, and in the end I couldn't find a completely satisfactory option, because if I go bishop e7, it's the same issue, bishop d5, and it should be noted that actually, like, if my bishop was not on e7, I could probably go knight b8 or knight a5, and if knight takes b4, like with the bishop on f8, there would be queen h4 check with the fork. But with the bishop on e7, this is not an option. And this was the issue, that like both bishop e6 and bishop e7 make bishop d5 work, and I have really no other option. I mean, I could play rook b8, but then queen d3, it's this pawn on a6. So I went for queen c7 in the end, but I thought I'm slightly worse. So my point was always, if he goes c3, knight takes bc knight takes c3, I have knight b4. I'm hitting on the bishop on c4, and I do get some counterplay. So he went queen e2. No, he went castle. Now if I go bishop e6, he goes queen d3, and this is a bit unpleasant again, because the queen is doing very well on c4, and c3 could come next. So I went for bishop e7, now he went for c3, I take, knight takes, knight b4, queen e2. I castled, and here I think he made his first mistake. He went rook a1. I think the other rook was more natural, because he wants a5 and knight a4 at some point. So I probably have to go queen b8, because knight d5 is a serious threat. Knight takes, bishop takes. It's both rook and queen. So which is why, and if I go queen b7, this is the issue, knight a5. And if queen c7, knight d5 is very strong. If queen b8, same, knight d5, knight takes, bishop takes. This is very unpleasant. So I have to go queen b8 instead, but no a5. And knight a4 will follow next. So I wanted something like bishop d7, knight a4. And I wasn't sure whether I should take on a4, try d5. I think I probably would have settled for... no, probably not for this, because now bishop f7 and rook c8 wins. A pawn, maybe not the end of the world, but it's still a pawn. So maybe somewhere, maybe here d5, ed, knight bd5, and I mean, this is a much better version for white than what Alexey got in the game, but it could be very holdable. I mean, I have active pieces. The pawn on a6 is a bit weak, but that counts only for the endgames. There's a pair of bishop, but my knights are very active in the center. The rook is a bit awkward. I mean, not the end of the world, actually. So maybe my position is not even worse, I'm not sure. But anyway, in the game, he went rook a1, queen b8, a5, bishop d7. And here he should have just played rook d1, for instance. Rook c8, bishop b6. I would have gone bishop d8, he goes back. And I'm not sure I can improve my position, because, well, his pieces are firmly in the center. His bishop c4 on c4 is a bit weak, but I don't have any way to take advantage of that. Rook takes c4, queen c4, bishop e6. I mean, that's why you have to go rook d1. Now you have knight d5 for white. And, I mean, I don't see how I can make this work for me. I mean, it just doesn't work, so... so this is how he should have gone. Instead, he went for rook a1, so he wanted to get knight a4, but now he lost 2 tempi, and I'm gonna take advantage of that. I mean, in a matter of few moves. So d5 is very strong. Of course, if he takes with the bishop, knight takes, and queen takes b3 follows, so he has to take with the pawn. And now rook takes c4, which he missed, obviously. Queen takes c4, bishop b5, and there's this pin. Well, there's not exactly pin, but whatever. So anyway, his queen has to move, and this rook stays under attack, so he cannot go queen c3 because of knight takes d5. I'm winning so many tempi. So there's queen h4 and queen c1. If queen c1, bishop f1 is strong. And now the point is, if king f1, I do not take on d5 because of bishop knight b6. But first I activate my queen with queen b5 check. I take on d5. I attack this knight on b3. There's no good way to defend it. And if you go knight b6, I'll just take on b3, knight a8, knight e3, and I win material. You cannot really get back this pawn on a6. I mean, you can go knight c7, but there's gonna be an attack like e4. I'm not sure how, but it's not gonna be good for white, that's for sure. So anyway, after after bishop f1, he has to go queen f1, and now knight c2 and knight b6. Maybe it was his last chance. So, like he mentioned after the game, if knight e3, queen d3, I mean, I'm clearly much better, but there's nothing decisive yet. So, like, because my knight is under attack, this rook is under attack, my knight is trapped, I probably should take on d5 and play something like either rook a7, rook b7, or queen a7, rook b8. I mean, it's much better for me, but definitely possible to fight, at least. And of course, I should probably just take on a1 and play rook a7. And, well, the pawn on d5 is anyway doomed. So I go rook a7, then rook b7, rook c7, and queen b7, and attack this pawn. And I mean, it seems like there's some counterplay with the knight on b6, but I don't think it's enough. So because of that, in the game, it chose queen h4, but this was very wrong because he missed my next tactic. Because of course I can go bishop f1, I'm much better, there's no doubt about that. I can go knight f takes d5, but bishop g5 is still a fight, but bishop takes a4 ends the game immediately. The point is, after rook a4, knight d5, I attack both bishop and knight, and if he goes bishop b6 to protect the knight, this is probably what he missed. Queen takes b6, check, it's a fork, I'm winning this knight, and it's over. So after bishop a4, he tried one last trick, d6. Now if I go bishop takes d6 with the same idea, after knight d5 he has bishop c5, which now the bishop is not protected by the knight, and it's suddenly a bit unclear. But of course I had seen this, so I took on b3, takes on e7, I go knight d5. Knight c2 would leave some up for white, for instance after bishop g5, or maybe even rook d1. But knight d5 is clinical, because after bishop c5 there's knight takes e7, and after he takes, which is what he did in the game, queen a7 check, and I'm getting this bishop back. He played for a few moves after that, but basically I just kept queens on the board and started an attack with the bishop on d5 and e4 to follow, and he just resigned.